Hello. So I wasn't really planning to make this kind of video or anything, but yesterday, like many of you I presume, I saw Olibambi's Mapperinator V30 tweet absolutely blowing up on Twitter. And so I had this idea, and I just simply went for it. So yeah, hope you enjoy guys. Okay, so first and foremost, as a disclaimer, please understand that this video will only briefly cover the history of AI mapping in OSU from what I know, as the title suggests. This isn't an argument video of whether AI mapping is good or bad or else, and I'll leave the conclusion to you guys watching in the end. So, when was AI mapping first started? Was it 2024? 2023? The answer is actually much earlier. The first instance of AI mapping in OSU that I know of occurs in 2013, when the mapper Popner created this program called AutoMap in C#. It was a program that, according to him, was able to generate maps automatically from scratch. Most famously, he used the program to create a low 3-star hard diff in his set of Light Up My Love, in which this was the result. Notice anything? Yes, the map is alright. In fact, it's too alright for an AI map that was made in 2013. So why is this the case? Well, the simple answer was that Popner himself had made a lot of manual adjustments to the map, to the point that you might want to consider it more of a normal, human-made map instead. Sure enough, the structure feels rather basic, even for 2013 standards, and the objects were mostly mapped following a fixed distance snap, but there were a lot of aspects in it that indicated that it was more human than AI, such as the lack of random overlaps, in which even the most modern AI tools are still struggling with this today, and the fact that some slider shapes are exclusively reserved for a certain sound in the song, in which, yes, you cannot get AI to do that just yet. The AI mapping scene didn't really pick up again until 2018, when another mapper, CSGA AR3SGICE, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that guys, don't blame me, whom you might know from his loved map of Maybe Rosiki's Heart Trash style, created a deep learning program he called OSU Mapper. This program was open source, unlike Popner's, and the first time he announced the program to the public, he did so with the song Phronesis, using 4 different datasets, one taken from ranked hard diffs, one from TV size maps, one from Vocaloid maps, and one from Sota Fujimori maps. The results were, however, yeah, it was not good. Aside from getting the BPM correct, the maps barely function as a map. It skips way too much of the song, it appeared to be confused as to what to do most of the time, and the structure was all over the place. It didn't gain much traction, and while apparently the mapper tried to revive the project with another fresh attempt in 2020, the result was arguably not much better, and the OSU Mapper program was mostly never heard again since. Fast forward to 2022, and after 9 years, we finally got another AI map in the rank section. This was the time when the AI boom started to take off, and, to partially quote Olibombi, the time where machine learning modeled the term AI itself, and you bet someone's just going to take an advantage of it. The map in question, which I believe some of you might already know, is Asno Yosoresho Kaihan, a taiko map by Hiya, in which the normal or futsu diff was mapped using OpenAI. To put credits where it's due though, the map was mapped during the early era of AI, when AI technology was appreciated very differently, and the map itself wasn't 100% AI. Hiya himself even wrote on the map's description that what he did was not, hey, here's the song, can you generate a map out of it? No, he didn't do that. What he did instead was that he copied the OSU code bit by bit and let the AI generate the next few lines of the code based on the numbers provided, essentially doing what is, in principle at least, something similar to the autocomplete or autofill feature found in Microsoft Excel, for example, only with predictive AI. This was possible mainly because Taiko's gameplay is much more streamlined compared to the other game modes, in a sense that, for the most part, it doesn't involve any X grid and Y grid placements, and so rhythm and timing are the only two things that the AI program needs to care about. Still, while the map ended getting ranked, according to Hy-Vee, the process was tedious, resulted in a lot of misnaps that he had to correct manually, and not something that he would recommend anyone to do ever. And that brings us up to the present day. The Mapperinator, first announced in 2022 before going open source in GitHub in 2024, the project started up without much fanfare, as the early outputs were, well, not necessarily the best, in which for the most part, the model could only even map well if it was given a manual rhythm input from the user. Nevertheless, one thing was clear. This AI tool showed a lot more promise than its predecessors, and for Olibombi, this could only mean that exciting times are ahead. Over time, the project kept on getting developed. Mapperinator got better and better and better to the point of where we are now, the V30 of Mapperinator. Unlike its previous versions, however, the public reception to this was very notably much more mixed. I've seen people who were cautiously optimistic of it, while on the other hand, the opposition was also significant, mostly citing that the model had become too good for its own, that it might end up incentivizing people to cheat on their mapping by passing an IMF as something that they made. Again, this is not an argument video, so I'm not telling you guys on which side to pick here. However, the entire shtick is, well, it's interesting to say the least. As for myself, I've seen a couple of people who were able to generate some decent maps out of it, one of which was from the HDDTHR suite, of course. And I've even tried generating some test maps using the song Far East Nightbird by Nekomata Master myself, out of curiosity. And the results I've gotten so far, however, well, if I may say myself, have been rather underwhelming. For example, when I used the mapper Frey as my reference, the AI model got the visuals kind of right, but the entire map feels too conservative, too focused on keeping the distance between objects to be the same, and lacks the snappy aim that Frey's maps use from time to time, resulting in a playing experience that's much more inferior than playing an actual Frey map. But hey, maybe that's just me who hasn't able to get the parameters right as of yet. And that brings us up to the end of the video, to the point of where we are now as a community. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys are all entertained. Apologies if any part of this video feels super scuffed. And yeah, until next time. Oh, and by the way guys, one last thing. I just remembered that in 2015, a group of informatics students from my alma mater here in Indonesia had tried to create a machine learning program for Osumania mapping, but I've never really heard about what came of that since.